I wanted to do a quick update on my Catasetum, Catasetinae Alliance orchids. I've repotted a bunch, and I will leave a link to that video in the description for this one. And I just wanted to show how they were doing. So this is one that I got from Jerry. It wasn't doing too hot, so I unpotted it from the coconut husk, and it actually sat empty in this pot all winter. And like last week, I actually just put it in some moss since it was starting to sprout a new growth right here. I haven't really started watering yet, though I should say that not watering for me means that I'm not soaking the moss here. I do spritz these with my hand sprayer. Here is actually the same cross as this. They're the same. I already owned it. I'd gotten it from Fred Clark a few years ago. And it's also starting a new growth. This one I haven't done anything to, so it just went dormancy, and it too gets a few spritzes, maybe once a week. Here's another Catasetum cross that I have from Fred Clark. It's also just starting. And I just have these guys up on my orchid growing area, just kind of stuffed between my Cattleya. This is another one right here that I got from Jerry. It had 2 bulbs when I got it from her, and one of them was rotting, so I took it off, and it also sat all winter in this pot, actually with no moss, and last week I just added moss to it since it was starting to grow, put out a new growth. And then let's see, I have this, this is a Mariclone that I got from Hauserman's at their open house. It is Fred Clark After Dark Sunset Valley Orchid, so it is a darkish brown with spots, and it came already spiking. It had leaves which have now fallen off, and it came in bark, so I actually unpotted it and I just moved it into moss. You can see that there is actually humidity down in there, and it gets the same treatment. It has a lot of roots, as you can see, already out in it, where I basically spritz it. I'm not doing heavy dew watering on any of this stuff, but it's just dry enough here, even with my humidifier running all the time, that I still need to spritz these. This over here is my gift plant from Fred. When I bought, he had a sale, I think in December. So this is After Midnight by Orchid Glade. And it came with this big growth, and you can see it has lots of roots that are alive in there, and it too is just getting spritzed. It did come with leaves on the bigger pseudobulb, which have since fallen off. And then, let's see, I have this. So this is my Fred Clark After Dark that I got from Fred as a seedling. Oh my gosh, it must be 4 years ago. And I couldn't get it to go dormant for years and years and years. And finally last year I had to force it to go into dormancy. So, and it gave me this nice big fat bulb as a result of me forcing it to go into dormancy. And it was having some issues in terms of, well, in its pot, like I had like one bulb near the back here that was just, getting old. And so I pulled it off. I repot it into just fresh moss. It's got a little new growth coming out. You can see the old roots down in there. And so it's just getting the same thing I'm doing with everything else, where it gets spritzed just a little bit, but not really watered. Everything I own that is Catasetum gets its winter rest as if it was it's not no water, it's just minimal water. I know everyone's like, oh, absolutely no water, but it literally doesn't work for me. And then finally, I have right here my Fred Clark After Dark Baker's Black Magic, and it was in a much smaller pot. It had 3 spikes this year, and well, what happened is that it was tipping over. It was way too big. And so, and I also like had one pseudobulb that sort of stopped growing or whatever. So you can see this hole right here. I took it off. It got soft and it turned brown and shriveled up. And so I cut it off, and then I treated my cut section with cinnamon to make sure that nothing from the cut spread. And then I took it, so you can see right here where the old moss is. I didn't really like pot it up. I mean, like I didn't break everything apart. I just put it in a bigger pot, and then I pot around it. So you can see there's some gaps over here on the side where I really didn't shove the moss in. And then you can see all the fresh new moss. It's humid in there. It hasn't really taken a rest because basically it stopped blooming. The flowers all fell off, of course, the week right before the Illinois Orchid Society show. Sent it to two other shows. It got one first place ribbon up at Nina with 2 spikes. Like I said, at 3 spikes total, but you can see that it's already putting out new roots and a new growth right here. I'm trying to give it at least a short dormancy so it can build some energy for growing this right here. So while it was in flower, I did give it spritzing to keep the flowers on. That's really what it needed. So that is an update on my Catasetinae. And then I wanted to just give a short update about the giveaway. So I'll also put the link for the giveaway entry video in the description for this. But I did pick one winner early in the month, and I'm going to pick a second winner thinking on Easter Sunday, which is April 1st, also April Fool's Day. And so hopefully the joke won't be on me or anyone else. And so if you haven't entered yet, but you want to, then please go to the entry video and put in your entry. And I will be picking a winner soon.